So I've been in the wilderness and I've seen a lot of wildlife, but I haven't really seen a lot of moose, and I haven't seen a lot of moose balls, but I'm about to. So changing out a bib moose setup, or is that what's in here?
Huh?
Clayton, it's like the full moose is in here right now.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So this one is seeing its time and listening in on what they talk about is when the you see the bead indicator, and it's how it's like sort of sinking in right there. So that kind of tells you that's where the moose is collapsed. And what's cool about the Mousse Balls system is it's segmented sections. So if any one section starts to have a problem because of overheating or lack of lubrication, you can replace just that one section or alternate them, and so there's just less cost overall over time, and kind of, you know, easier to deal with rather than having to replace an entire moose all the way around. So Clayton's the expert on this. He races these things and knows his way around them, so we're just gonna play some Bonnie Raitt or something while you watch our man work his balls.
See that right there?
Nitro moose. This section,
300 miles.
So this is the deformation that's
Correct.
happened, right? It used to be a round.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's pushed out all its nitrogen, and it's going to the dumpster.
There we go. A little more landfill. So this might remind you of a house in Las Vegas or something like that, but this is lubricating up the moose ball. Probably, you're saying, one of the more important things to do.
Yep. The most important thing is lube.
And then even over time, even if your tire's not worn out, to have to pull the tire off and add a little bit more. Oh, just open up the bead?
Yeah, I just open the bead up in a section. You can always squirt a little bit in there, maybe pull one ball out.
Yeah.
Maybe do 2 sections.
So get a little bit extra lubrication in there over time, especially if you've been running hot or higher speeds. It's the high speeds that break it down. So the kit comes with lube and plastic bag and all the stuff you need. Yeah, there's one section there, so
nice and lube.
It just goes in all the way around.
Between 20 hours and 15. But I think it also depends on, the speed you're riding and then the tires you're running. If you're running a really soft tire, the balls are going to break in quicker.
So the PSI equivalent feels like what?
I would say this is going to feel like a 12 to 14 PSI. But then as it breaks in, it'll be more like a, 10, 12 PSI. And these actually, the first few times you ride them, generally every time you ride them actually, they actually expand with heat a little bit, and then they'll kind of shrink back to size as they cool.
So there's like a settle in period.
Correct.
Yeah.
I always do. It's not super necessary, but I'm a big believer in the rim lock keeps it from spinning. And what'll kill it is heat, and if they start spinning, they get hot.
This is not your first tire, right?
No. I told you, you believe me? If this is not off the bead, stop what you're doing.
If it's not off the bead?
Correct. So right here, if this is on the bead and you're pulling, it's gonna break the cords. It'll break the cords on the tire, and then you see when people have an issue when the bead pops out of the tire on the bike, it's because you broke the bead right here.
Okay. Larry, I've got some info for you on your beads right here.
See how it chased it? And then I'll actually... Also a rule for bids, if you don't scratch the rim, it's not a bid.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
It's always the last bite.
What do you use for lube?
Balls lube. Yeah.
It's a silicone.
How much?
Phenomenal.
So like 3 or 4 tire changes? Or?
At least.
Really?
Yeah.
So they hold up better than
Any other thing I've tried.
So they're made in Italy, and they're injection molded rather than extruded and then sliced and glued together like a conventional one. But they run a lot cooler because they can move independently of one another. And the heat's what kills them. So they're 20% lighter, and they last probably at least twice.
I'd say
Fantastic.
for the
20%
average dude, you're like 80 to 100 hours on a front. I mean, like, they're going to be toasted at the end, but like, you obviously run them until they're ruined no matter what you're running. And then a rear, you're going to be 50 to 80 hours.
We've seen over 150 hours.
For sure.
And they still look great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And if one gets damaged, like gets too hot under the rim lock or something like that,
Right.
they're easily replaceable.
Sell a pack of 3.
And if it softens up over time at the next tire change,